purpose of our video today is we're going to demonstrate to some of our other drivers who are not familiar with hauling these 40-foot export containers a few key things to look for when you're doing your pre-trip when you hook up to a loaded container. One of the things we see a lot of is this power cord comes from this front basket here and goes down to the chassis. A lot of times this cord will be looped down below the chassis here, which creates a pinch point. When you back your tractor under the chassis, if that cord's down there, you'll actually pinch it between the fifth wheel and the chassis and cut the cord in half. So what we like to see is have this pulled. It don't have to be super tight, but pull it up to where you don't have a loop below that point, and make sure that there are at least 2 zip ties securing that cable up on top of this basket. A lot of guys use one. I say use 2. That way if one does break, you've got a secondary one holder there. If you're driving down the road and this thing comes down, you're going to wrap in your drive and just tear it all up. Another thing we can look at is going to be your securement. These locking pins should always be pushed forward like that. And you should always have a zip tie secured in place. You try to make sure these are coming out the side. Some drivers put them through the bottom. I prefer through the side. Reason being, one, when you go through a weigh station, they can see the zip tie sticking out, so they see you have a secondary means of securement to keep this thing locked. The other reason is, when you're driving down the road, you glance in the mirror, you can see this in your mirror, so you know it's still there. And if it does fall off, you just stop at your next scheduled stop, put another one in place. So you have 2 in the front corners, 2 in the back corners. Our back ones should be pushed in like this and secured with zip ties. Again, you can see these in your mirror, so you know it's secure. Another thing we can look for is mounting brackets. Just shut that off to kill the noise. These mounting brackets here, sometimes they will come loose. It's happened to a few before, but you just want to make sure that these bolts are ran down and you can see it's tight. If these do come loose, this whole unit will start falling down and drag on the ground, and it's not very fun to try to pick it up. You have to get a wrecker or a forklift out here to pick this thing up and secure it in place. So just a few key items to look at on these containers. If you need to start one, some of the models you just turn the switch up to the on position and it starts automatically. This one has a 3-way switch, so down is off, middle is on. The one to the left is your glow plugs. Push it up and hold 5-10 seconds. Then you push the second switch up to start it and release. It goes back to the on position. Pretty easy. Refrigeration unit. A lot of these carriers are set up this way. Toggle switch here should be up in the on position. As soon as that genset warms up, you can see it starting to cycle in now. As soon as it does the startup procedure, it's going to kick in. Okay, this is our actual set point here. This is what the temperature is set at. This is your reading inside the box. You want to change the set point, up or down arrow to your desired location is always going to be set at Celsius. If you're not sure, you have a dispatch that says Fahrenheit. Push that button, switches to Fahrenheit. Let go, goes back to Celsius. Set to your desired point, push enter, will lock it in place. otherwise, just do a regular pre-trip on the rest of the chassis, lights, brakes, tires, suspension, and have a safe trip.